if you don't stop and spend time to really analyze where you want to be, you're never going to get there because all these other things just are going to keep happening.
Exactly.
So you got to step away from it. And that's what I find every morning is I just try to take 10, 15 minutes to set my day apart and say, it's not what didn't I get done at the end of the day, it's what did I get done. So I look at my checklist.
Welcome to The Growth Mindset, the podcast for ambitious real estate and mortgage professionals. Hosted by Adam Crosley and Rick Riddle, this show dives into entrepreneurial strategies, sales techniques, and mindset hacks designed to fuel your career growth. Get ready to learn from top producers, gain actionable insights, and start your journey towards success. Here's your hosts, Adam and Rick.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to this week's episode of the Growth Mindset Podcast. I'm Rick Riddle with my co-host Adam Crosley. Very excited this week. We have someone in the studio, so to speak, live and in person. Not on a third picture, but actually they're sharing the square like in the old Hollywood squares.
Squares, I love it.
So, Adam, why don't you introduce Michelle, and then we'll get right to it. We'll see if the X marks the square or not.
Yeah, there you go. Well, this is Michelle Fowler, the newest broker at Riddle. And Michelle has been a longtime friend, referral partner up here in Clinton County, New York. And just a couple weeks ago, went out and broke out on her own. And after being with her previous brokerage for quite a long time.
21 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she joined when she was 3. And
Yes.
You can sell them young up in the Adirondacks in North Country, right?
It's that frozen air, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, we just wanted to interview you a little bit here about your growth
and nothing
and what success means to you. So how did Michelle start in real estate? What brought you here and why have you stayed so long?
All right. Well, I've got an interesting story. I think most realtors started their first appearance as a waitress somewhere along the line.
Yep.
And we had Red Lobster here, and they closed their doors. And I said, I need to get out of this commission-based business. And I went and started working for one of the top realtors at the time as her assistant. And
that was Carol, right?
Carol DeGranpree with Don Dooley and Associates.
Yeah.
And I learned the stuff that you don't learn after you get your real estate license. Like real estate licenses, they teach you like the law and the legal part of it, but they didn't teach you how to sell and how to follow up with people, and that really helped me quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, and just Carol was kind of a local legend in our local community. And I mean, so what an asset to start there. I mean, she was just true old school door knocking, delivering pies.
Yep.
You know,
I would go up to Rolf's and probably wrap 50 pies with little bows and deliver them. And just taught a lot about the personal touch that a lot of people miss out on. I think they all are too mindset on having sales and where's the next sale going to come from. And if they really just slow down and think about it, is the little things that make the difference.
Well, it's a relationship based business, right? I mean,
yes.
Like it's not super transactional, and you have to really care about your clients and your customers. Otherwise, you won't have any.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
Well, I think it's one thing that the first thing it said. Sometimes to be the best, you kind of have to learn from the best, right? And that you were mentored by someone that was such a rock star in the community and knew how to do it the right way. Always helps, right? And I think that all great leaders that have growth mindset have some mentor, whether that mentor was their boss or a colleague or a coworker or, maybe a mythical creature, right? Or maybe it's your parents, right? But you have some kind of backbone of, an influencer that you can kind of, I don't say give credit to because you always do it your own, but there's some credit along the way, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I think that if it wasn't for her, I don't know that I'd be as successful as I have been. And so I really owe everything that I've started by landing that job. Little did I know what it meant to be an assistant to a realtor. I didn't even know like the street names when I started working for her. Born and raised in Plattsburgh, and I'd be like, nope, you just turn here and turn there, and then you get to the mall. And now I had to like start physically remembering
What
the
the
street
road
signs were.
signs.
Like,
Crossroads and right.
I mean, but that was back in 1999 when I got licensed. Actually, I got licensed in 2000. I started working for her in 1999. I am dating myself now, but we didn't have Google Maps where you just put in the address and it brought you. I had to look at a map or really like physically learn.
AAA and get the trip tickets, right?
Yeah.
So you started. So you were you were a waitress at the Red Rooster, right? Is that
Red Lobster.
Red Lobster? Oh, Red Lobster, like the Red Lobster.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the Red Lobster.
The Red Lobster. And then, so what? So let me ask you this: how did you like? What got you in from there to there? Like, why did you say, I'm going to get in the real estate business? Like, how did that?
Red Lobster was closing their business here, and I just wanted to get out of the waitressing business and the tip and commission-based business, which I landed right back in.
Right.
But at the time, it was just a newspaper ad. Someone was looking for an assistant to help with clerical work and transactions, and I interviewed for it, and I actually fell in love with it. She paid for me to get licensed so I could answer phone calls and questions if she wasn't always there. I did everything from, this was also a lot before the internet, so it was printing out listings and mailing them to people when they came available. I mean, it was even back to when we had the book. We had to go pick up the book from the board office with the latest listings, copy the listings, and then send them out to people. Be like, hey, I think this matches what you are looking for. So
it's wild.
It's what I know.
Just in the last 20
Maybe
years,
we were like
how it's
Stone
changed.
Age.
Well, you know, it gives you that foundation. I think of people that work here that are top producers. We have a guy, Will Kadadich, who's been a rock star for us for years. And he started as like a loan officer assistant, right? And just kind of learning what paperwork to get and, how to data enter stuff. And it kind of laid that foundation, to succeed, right? And I think that all of us kind of started at a place, that I don't want to say menial tasks, but like laying that foundation, right? To kind of really learn what it takes to be successful, where a lot of people just say, oh, I want to be successful because I work really hard. But, there's more to it, I think.
Yeah.
So you were there how long you were an assistant, and then how did you like transition into being on your own and as a real estate agent?
So the more experience I got, the more I felt like she took longer vacations and I was doing more work, and I was like, this doesn't seem fair anymore. And I kind of had enough. There were times when I'd have to like go wash her car or go make a bed for a showing. So it was like, oh, go do up their dishes so that we can have the showing because they forgot to do them before they left. And I was like,
I'm over this.
I kind of didn't sign up for this.
Yeah.
But I ended up leaving and I went to another company. And at the time they were very small. It was Schluter Systems. And I worked for the Home Depot department with like 1,000 clients, but I was punching a clock and I was sitting in a cubicle, waiting for my bathroom break and my lunch break. And this was before they got really busy. They're super their growth has been
it's
explosive right now. Yeah. And I guess I don't regret leaving, but after being in that position, I just decided that I missed real estate and I wanted to come back on my own. And I came back and I went with the same brokerage that I had started with. And shortly after doing that, I was recruited to Paul Calkins Realty, which later bought into the Remax franchise. And that's where I had been since 2003.
Wow. Okay. And it's funny, right? It's like the journey is so interesting, right? Because you got into real estate a little bit, right? And then you were the like I said, the person doing all the, I've never been on the real estate end. I've always been in the mortgage world, but just thinking of all the things that you had to do, like making the beds because the showing's coming in, or like that. Mortgage guys don't even think that way, right? And that's kind of cool that I don't think a lot of real estate agents today think that way, of all those little tiny things you got to do to make it look perfect. So that's awesome. And then took it a step in a different direction. Said, you know what, to go where I want to get to, is to get back in. I think that's awesome. And then so you were there for 20 plus years.
Yeah. And
then you just recently took the next evolution, which I think about it like you're perfect for the podcast because what you're growing, a successful in the real estate world, but then even started your own venture, which I think is awesome.
Thanks. Yeah. So I after about 20 years, I decided to get my associate broker license. And for the longest time, I kind of hesitated. I started it and then stopped. And then I said, sometimes real estate can be very sue happy people. And I thought the more knowledge I have, the more liability I have. So I was like, I'm good with just a salesperson. I could say I don't know any better. And then I decided that, I've got to look ahead. I was thinking about opening my own brokerage, but really after taking some coaching that I've never taken, I decided I wanted this financial freedom, this location freedom, and having a broker office that I'm managing with a bunch of other agents under me really was not going to set me up for that.
Yeah.
It's going to require more of my time and more of my commitment, and having a brick and mortar place, which really is phasing out for realtors.
You don't really need it anymore.
We don't need it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to have it so you have a little bit of professionalism when you're meeting with somebody, but for the most part, I work from my home office, and my transaction coordinator, who I brought on 4 years ago, has been with me part-time as my assistant. And so I have an assistant now. After it was just like full circle after 20.
So now you're getting your car washed.
I have my own assistant. I do not make it.
As in now you're getting your car washed, getting the dishes done, getting the going to the dry cleaner. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
So
I want to keep her, so I'm not going to make her do any of those things.
So is your assistant, is her, his or her vision to also get into real estate?
No, she was actually a teacher. She's a little younger than I am, but she kind of phased out of the teaching end of things. She didn't want all that classroom stuff and everything, and she's fantastic. She helped me homeschool my kids when I homeschooled for 2.5 years. She came in and helped me with a little bit, and she made it so much fun. And I'm sitting there like, nope, we got to do X, Y, Z and get this paperwork done so I can get on to work. And she was like in there rolling dice and like
That's cool.
making them laugh. I'm like, what? Are you getting work done? Like we got things to do because we got to go to work after. But she taught it in such a fun way and loving, caring way that the kids really liked it.
That's awesome.
But she doesn't want to get a real estate license. She's happy of just being on the other end. She helps me a lot with my social media, which is very time consuming. And if I have to say anything, like, I just want to be a realtor. Like right now, as a realtor, we are wearing all these hats of you got to market here and you got to do this and you got to do that. And I'm just like, I just want to sell real estate. Yeah. So
well, I think that part of that is the growth mindset, is finding the right people, the right team, and putting them in the right seats so you can do what you want to do to get to the next level, right? And I think no matter what the profession, real estate, mortgage, or any career, right? If you're an entrepreneur that wants to, there's only so much time, right? And I think that to grow the greatest or get to the greatest result or the what you want to do, you've got to have that great team that literally, like, that is going to make the bed, right? To your predecessor, right? And her growth mindset was like, look, I'm going to take all these things off my plate so I can do things that help me get more business. And you're doing the same thing, different, right? Working on social media and working on the those type of aspects, which we know are important, right? It's the world has evolved, right? We don't need the brick and mortars. We don't need the, there's especially in our industries, but you still need to get people, a team to get you to where you want to be. So that's pretty exciting. So is your vision now that you're on your own with Real, is it to grow, like to have, a team of realtors underneath you? Like what is your vision?
So I would like to have a couple local agents working on my team so that I can free up time. My desire is actually to become a certified education coach or a teacher. I recently did, like, when you do, how old will you be in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? And I can't keep doing the number of transactions that I'm doing now and in 20 years.
Yeah.
So how do I set myself up apart from that? And at the time I also did how old my kids would be and my husband would be. And I need to grow with them. And so I figured as they grow up and don't need mom at home every morning to get them on the bus and make their lunches, that I can actually be out doing other things like coaching and giving back all the knowledge that I somehow have been blessed to have learned to be able to share it with other people.
If you're passionate about it.
I'm passionate.
Exactly. Yeah.
know what I would do if I didn't sell real estate. And I don't think of it as like a sales job. I feel like I'm helping people. Like I'm a challenge person. Like I'm did the 46 peaks within, I said, well, I turned 40 and I said I was going to do the 46 peaks. I did them, said I would do them by the time I was 46. I had them done by 43 and a half.
Nice.
So, you know,
That's cool.
the Spartan races, let's do these things. So like real estate's a challenge.
Set the
So
challenge.
tell our listeners. So I'm a new I'm new. I don't know if Adam told you. I call myself an Adirondackian. Can I even say that? I don't know if that's a word. Because I live 6 months a year in Lake George, so that's technically above the Adirondack line. But for those that don't know, because hopefully our audience is vast and accomplishing the 46 peaks is huge. Just tell everyone what that is exactly, because it is a huge accomplishment.
It is, yeah. There's some really tough peaks which require you, especially if you live a little distance from the location, is I would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, get on the road, travel an hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours to get to the trailhead, and we would climb some of these peaks that were over, what was the elevation? I don't even know what the elevation was.
Over 4,000.
Over 4,000 feet in elevation you would climb, and you have to climb all 46 of those to actually get your number.
And some of them are really hard because you've got to like the Santanoni range.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the range itself is in the middle of nowhere. So
Yes.
you got to hike 6 miles before you climb up, and then there's 4 or 5 peaks up there, but then you got to come back down, and it's it's.
Oh, you have to come down the cliff. You just don't hike up, and then there's a zip
No, you
line
just
down.
jump.
Well, that's what, like Whiteface. So Whiteface, you can drive up to the top of Whiteface. So people are like, well, if I climb it, can I get a ride down? Will it count? Nope, it doesn't count. You can't drive down. No.
That makes sense.
You gotta get money and get down. Like
I went up to 46 peaks. I didn't go. I only went down 45 of them. I drove down the other. Look, that's an awesome accomplishment, and congratulations. And it shows to your, as I relate to the growth mindset, it just shows to your drive, right? You have a goal, you have a set, no matter it's what, the growth mindset isn't always professional. It's personal as well. So I applaud you for that accomplishment, and I know how hard it is. So
yeah. And I think you take that mindset into your transactions, because I feel like every real estate transaction is a challenge. Like it's a mountain sometimes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they were easy. Every transaction's easy.
We get like one of those a year, one easy one. They give us one bonus. It's a walk in the park. But for the most part, everyone's a challenge. And I think that's why I enjoy it, because I'm like, okay, what are our options? Like, let's figure this out.
You got to sharpen your pencil. You got to think about it. There's different ways to approach it. It's
Yeah, that's what I love about this business. Real estate and mortgage being the same, right? It's like every customer is a puzzle, right? And some are like, here's the picture, and there's it's a kindergartner's puzzle with like 6 pieces, and some are the 10,000 piece puzzle with no instructions.
Looking at the back of the cardboard,
right?
Yeah. But I think in real estate for growth too it's who's in proximity to you. Like, who are you next to? What are they doing? What's encouraging them? And what do you see them doing to grow? And it makes you want to become a better person, because you see that they're doing your Thanksgiving thing, like giving back to the community and being part of the community. Just makes you want to do things differently. Like you stop looking in the mirror and just stop saying, and that's what the real company is about. Their culture is about, it's greater than just me. It's about us and we. So that really, I think, speaks a lot to me personally to be part of.
Well, I mean, I've always heard it say, like, you're the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with, right? So it makes sense that like you want to be around better people that are chasing, that are driven for the next thing. They're always looking to do that, and you want those people likewise on your bus as well. And if they're not, then it's like, come on, get out of the way. Let's keep going. Right?
And they might be for a little bit, and then they fall off, and then you replace them. It's like sitting at the round table or whatever, and like, who's at your dinner table with you? And these are my group of people that I want there. And at some point, this person might fall off because they went down a different route, and I can just replace them, because I think we're always growing, and personally and professionally. You're growing in a different pace than I'm growing, and my husband's growing at a different pace than me. So I think it's just trying to all keep up and, but be yourself.
Yeah. I think that it's a great mindset because I think the best way to grow is to learn from other like-minded people, no matter what, no matter what, like you said, you'd said something earlier about a coach, right? That you never thought that you would need a coach or want a coach or didn't, and then you got one and you're like, you know what? It changed your mindset a little bit.
Yeah.
And now Michelle wants to become a coach.
Now,
now it's right.
I want to become one myself to help others that are just feeling like stuck, and you get in this like without thinking ahead, we get stuck in this everyday life that we just don't, unless you look at that 1 year, 5 year, and 10 year or 20 years, you're just going to keep going like, oh, yep, I got dinner. Oh, I got the kids on the bus. Oh, this happened, that happened. But if you don't stop and spend time to really analyze where you want to be, you're never going to get there because all these other things just are going to keep happening.
Exactly.
So you got to step away from it. And that's what I find every morning is I just try to take 10, 15 minutes to set my day apart and say, it's not what didn't I get done at the end of the day, it's what did I get done. So I look at my checklist and I look at everything that I've accomplished, and not everything's going to get checked off because I don't have time to do everything. But as long as I got the most important things done, I just reshift the next morning, reevaluate, reset my to-do list, and prioritize like the top 3 to 5 things that need to get done that day, and then keep just moving that to-do list over. What didn't get done gets added to the next. And if it's been moved over for like 2 weeks, I probably don't need to do it and I can stop moving it at that point.
So there's a great book, by the way, that makes me think about this is, and I know I've mentioned to Adam, have you ever heard of the book Procrastinate on Purpose?
No.
So it's called Procrastinate on Purpose, 5 Permissions to Multiply Your Time. And it basically talks about a focus funnel, and it says as you have a task, you have to put it down this focus funnel. And step 1 is eliminate. And I'm paraphrasing the book. The book is much more complex than what I'm saying, but the first is eliminate, and it's really the permission to say no. Right, because every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else, right? And in time, and so it says, okay, can I eliminate this? Is it relevant? And it goes deeper, right? Does it have long-term value? Does it make sense? But basically, can you eliminate it? And if you can't eliminate it, the next question is, can you delegate it? Right? Can you give that task to somebody else? And it talks about the power to invest, right? Or the power of imperfection, right? Because a lot of people don't delegate because their fear is, I can do it better myself, right? It'll take me longer to teach the person, I'll just do it. But if you get the right people on your team, we all have, right? But if you can get the right people on your team and you can trust them, knowing that they're the right people, it's okay that they're going to make mistakes, right? They're not going to do it as good as you, but they'll learn and they'll do it just as good as you, right? So that's if you can't eliminate, you can't delegate it. The next one's, can you automate? And that's the power to invest. Can you take things off your plate by using technology or different things to invest? So that's step 3. And then step 4 is, do you have to do it now? Right? That's the procrastinate purpose, right? Like because there's things that if you do too early, and I always think on the real estate side, right? Like if you advertise an open house 2 weeks ahead of time and that house sells a week ahead of time, then you don't need to then you wasted all that time, money, and effort in marketing and building things when you couldn't. So it's like there's that right time. And if you do it too late, obviously you can't advertise an open house the day after it's done. Right. So, is it the right time? They kind of go through a checklist then. So then if you can't if you can't eliminate, delegate, automate, if it can't procrastinate, then it's concentrate. So I think you probably do that in your checklist when you said it, without subconsciously, like you look at the things you do and you're like, okay, I did all these. And after a while, 2 weeks, then you could eliminate them. So I thought that was pretty good. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Awesome. Yeah, it's something similar to do, delegate, or delete. Like you got those, like to even break it down, like it's do, delegate, or delete. And then somewhere else along the way, I had learned about doing like the red, yellow, and green. Like go through your daily list for a week, like write down everything that you do. And then in red, the things you hate doing, like I hate putting in listings now. So my assistant now puts in listings. She comes to the listing appointments with me. She measures the room. She makes the note of what floor and what windows, and we'll put the listing in.
All the while you're probably there just talking to the customer, right?
And I'm actually having the conversation with the client, and I'm doing what needs to be done, and she's doing what needs to be done on the back end so that she takes the photos and everything. edits them, and I just review it once it's all done.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
that was on my red. Like I highlighted a bunch of things I don't like to do, highlighted things I'm okay doing, and then the things I love doing. And so I also have her doing the same thing, so that if she's not happy doing them, then we're going to find somebody else to do it.
Love it.
So you keep passing it on and reevaluating every 3 to 4 months because things change.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Any business, as you're growing and doing different things and taking on different projects, there's going to be things that come and go that are relevant or not relevant. That, you know, then maybe you need to get another person, or, you know, what.
Exactly. Yeah. Or maybe.
Well, it's interesting too, though. I think that one thing that you listening to your story and kind of wrapping into my big ass brain, is that you did it all, right? Like I think about people that jump to I'm just going to delegate all these things. I don't want to do that. But they've never done it, right? And I think that that's a challenge, right? Because you can't teach or hold your people accountable or find the right people if you haven't done it yourself. Like I said, made the bed and cleaned the dishes. And I'm sure you measured the rooms and took the pictures and all those things, you know, for a quite period of time, and said, you know what, now I can delegate. And I think that that's an important thing that a person in a growth mindset has to be the bottle washer for a time, to learn that they don't want to be the bottle washer, right? Or to find the right bottle washer. So
one of my favorite quotes is, everybody at the front of the line started at the back.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's like, truthfully, it did take some time and effort for me to like admit I needed help with things, or to give control to somebody else to do it, because I always had the mindset, I could do it better and faster. But by the time it did take time to learn. So I said, okay, give her a month, give her 2 months to try to figure it out and be there to answer questions and walk her through. But now it's so much easier. Like as time has passed, I don't need to be handed.
That's the book. You're like literally like you're the living book that I read. And it's interesting. Right? Boom, there you are. But you know what it is? It's true, right? Because I think a lot of people that get assistance, right, which to grow, you need you need someone to delegate, have that mindset, right? Yeah, I'll just do it better myself. Or they become impatient because they're like, I'll just give it to me, I'll do it. Because they don't let that person learn how to do it themselves. So that you had that, there is a heavy lift whenever you hire someone to delegate tasks, because they're gonna have to learn it. It's new, you know. But if you have the patience to build them and grow them and teach them, then eventually, whatever that time frame is, I mean, if they don't get it in 6 months, maybe, then it's like, but you got to give them that time to learn the position as well. So that's awesome.
And I think it comes down to, like, I'm learning with my coaching right now, it's like, there might be people that want to join my team right now, but I'm looking for like the right fit agent. Not everybody is going to be, I might like them, but are they going to be a right fit for are they going to do things in the manner that I would do them, that I would be proud to say they're on my team? So they have to be respectful and have like honor and certain characters that would relate to be with me. So I'm being very picky about that. But then you also have to be picky about who your assistant is. And I got lucky. She was a teacher and she has a very flexible life, and she fit really well with my being on my team, what I'm building. And I think that goes in any part. Like, they got to be a good fit for you, not just, I'm interested in being on your team and saying yes. So I started saying no a lot more about 2 or 3 years ago. I would say yes to everything, right? Yes to the $6,000 land listing in Ellenberg Depot. Like, whoa, no,
that's far from here.
No, it's 40 minutes from here for a land list. And I'm sorry, I'm not really your right fit agent. Like, let me get you to someone that can serve you better. Exactly. And because I want them to have a good experience too. I don't want to be like, I'll take it, and if it doesn't sell, then I'm not giving them the same expectations and the attention that they should get.
It's also not worth
it's not worth my time. What's not worth my time?
What's your hourly rate if you're going to break it down that far?
And like buying leads, I don't buy any leads. Like, I stopped it. I listen to the people when they call. Hey, I'm trying to sell you some leads, and I'm like, I appreciate you calling, and I'm just all set. Like, oh well, what are you doing? None of your business. What I'm doing, I'm comfortable. Thanks for calling. I just don't like hanging up on people.
Yeah.
I feel bad for those poor kids that are on the other line trying to make a sales call. So I give them thank you for
but
calling.
that's how we all learn too. Right?
We are.
So that's how we cut our teeth. So it's
hanging up. Click.
That rejection will turn them 10 years from now to be a rock star. You never know.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
or they can be like,
hung up on me 10 years ago.
or they can be like, that one agent did not hang up on me. That made my day.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
Out of the 20 that hung up, there was one that didn't. And she said, well, I hope you have a good day at the end of the conversation.
I love it.
I do like that something you said.
It's having the right attitude and how you not just do one thing, but how you do everything.
Yes.
You know, and I think that I've known you for almost 20 years now.
Yeah.
Wild.
I know.
And we've been in this for a minute.
I guess.
I know. And it's just really cool to see everything that you're building, Michelle. Thanks. For externally. And it's just so, when we were talking, it's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on this podcast, just because I think you exemplify the growth mindset locally. And obviously you're continuing to grow, and kind of wanted to hear about what your future goals are. And I'm really excited for you and what's going to come down the pipe the next 5 years for you.
I found that giving back, I think when you always give back, I'm finally, you hold all that information in and you say, no, it's mine. I've taken all this time and you want that. And I'm at the point in my life where I'm ready to give it back and teach others, because we've had a really rough last couple years with lawsuits and things. And I don't think the agents had the training that they needed. I mean, some people still couldn't even discuss why there was a lawsuit, to not have a conversation this is your business. How do you not know what's happening in it? Is scary. And just because I become a coach or a certified trainer doesn't mean that they're instantly going to learn. You're going to have those that want to learn and be better and to grow. And then you're going to have those that are I'm just doing this for the CE. And you have those that just don't even show up. So it's a mixed bag out there.
Well, everybody's got their own reasoning why they're doing it. I mean,
exactly.
But some of it, they're just doing it to keep their license. Some of it are doing it because they actually give a shit, It's but it's awesome. Well, anyway, I really appreciate you coming on the show here today, Michelle.
Thank you.
And it's just evident that you have a growth mindset. And is there anything that we didn't ask you today?
Gosh, I don't know. I can go through my list of questions. I want to say my coach does say that how you do anything is how you do everything.
Ooh, I like that.
How you do anything is how you do everything. So you kind of made a touch on that. And I was like, yeah. And that's how I always want to put out the best that I can. And if that means saying no or not taking on as much, I know my limits and what I can do. And I think everybody else has to kind of think a little bit wider and be focused.
Well, I like how you said, and I've had this problem or challenge in my career, is that you want to say yes to everything, and you want to hire everybody, and you want to bring everyone to your team, and then you realize, sometimes it's culture is important, and I think something that Adam kind of said, he said the juice being worth the squeeze, or I'm paraphrasing it. That's what I heard in my head, but he may not have said it exactly that way. Right. But it's right. It's okay to you're doing the right thing by building the right team, right? And bringing on the right agents, not that fit you and your style and your personality, not just everybody. And it's taken me a while to learn that, and I don't even learn that all the time. So I get excited to bring somebody on, and in the back of my head, I know it's probably not the right fit, but I do it anyway. So it's important in growing is to build that team around you and have the right people. So I thought that was very poignant the way you said that. So.
I thank you.
Nice.
All right.
Cool.
So
thank you for attending this episode of The Growth Mindset. If you're still with us, greatly appreciate you.
Stay focused, stay driven, and keep on growing.
Love it. Cheers.
You've been listening to The Growth Mindset, hosted by Adam Crosley and Rick Riddle. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with your colleagues. Stay tuned for more actionable insights to fuel your career success. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are personal and do not necessarily reflect the official policies, positions, or opinions of Absolute Home Mortgage Corporation or Crown Home Mortgage. The content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional advice or an official endorsement by either organization.